All right. Hello, everyone at home, and welcome to the Dunedin WCQ happening right now, live in front of your face at Dice Jar Games. Looks like we've been taken straight to game one with Roger Yan versus Dino Spasovsky. Notably, Dino, our Oceanic Champion winner of 2022. So, pretty exciting game to start it off. It's been a little while since I've commentated. It's nice to be back. Thank you very much to Greg for having us. And okay, we're right off to the bat. Roger is activating Unexpected Die. Appears to be on the Rikka and Avalon deck. No idea what Dino is on. Trying to get an idea of his cards in hand. It looks like... Is that a Sky Striker? So yeah, we're getting right into the thick of this combo. It's an Avalon. Notably, quite an intensive, long combo deck. So we might be here for a little while. Dino just taking time to read Sunvine Sowing there. But yeah, I am Ellie. I am one of your commentators today. I will be joined later by Joe MacDonald. Probably around round 2 or 3. He's currently preoccupied. But for now, I'm here. I'm going to bring you the best coverage that I can on my lonesome. So we see here, Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring is chained to Sunvine Sowing, effectively an emergency teleport for a Sunvine monster. Pretty strong. We can see here, Roger has followed it up with a Rikka Princess, card that allows itself to be summoned if you control a plant. In fact, no, just if anything, and then you're locked into plants while it's on the field. And then we have Rikka Glamour. So we're going to tribute the Rikka Princess. Dino just checking to see if that is live, I suppose. I presume here we're going to add a Mudan. Primula. Fair enough. Rikka Glamour, because a plant was tributed, able to search 2 plants, provided that they share a level. And you search at least 1 Rikka monster. Adding here the Cactus Bouncer, a notable tech card. Prevents either player from special summoning. You can see here Primula activating in a new chain because a plant was tributed, summoning itself. Roger tallying out how this combo is going to go. Does not have access to the Rikka field spell right now, which is a pretty critical part of this deck. But there we see committing the normal summon to Rikka Petal. Now we're going to add, yeah, looks like the Mudan, which can then tribute to summon itself, and then on field can search the Rikka field spell. So, you know, we're playing through. Notably, one of the interesting things about this deck is it uses the Sun Avalon cards to almost bait out something like Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Now, you have to interact with the Sun Avalon cards because they present so much interaction. And then because the deck doesn't often use its normal summon, you can just follow it up with something like Rikka Petal and still get to the optimal end board. But there we see Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit chained to the effect of Rikka Concon. A fantastic play by Dino there. We do have the Princess, though. Notably, Princess can activate in graveyard, tribute 1 of the Rikka. So effectively, Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit traded for the Princess and the Rikka on field. So still not terrible. But the Concon is a remarkable grind game engine. Every turn, if you control a Rikka monster, is able to set a Rikka spell or trap, including Rikka Glamour, and it can be activated that turn. And then, of course, has the effect that if you were to tribute a plant to activate a Rikka effect, you contribute an opponent's monster as if it was a plant instead. So grabbing Rikka Sheet there, usually the get if you are looking to interact with your opponent on their turn, can target a monster and it cannot activate its effects. If you tributed a plant to activate this effect, you take control of it. So hopefully looking to get that juicy +1 by tributing 1 of Dino's monsters to take another 1 of Dino's monsters. That is generally how you want to play the card. 2 hand traps from Dino. Still trying to make out what it is in his hand that he's playing. So all of you joining us at home today, welcome. This is a WCQ. This is a regional level event. So people are bringing their all. You know, this is a pretty competitive event. Dino, an Auckland player, so he's flown down to Dunedin for this. Shuffling through his hand. Oh, okay. Was not a Sky Striker card. That is an Evil Eye Unleashed. This is a new card from Photon Hypernova, and anyone who reads it will suddenly go, huh? It is effectively Foolish Burial and Foolish Burial Goods for cost to add an Evil Eye equip. And anyone who knows a thing about Evil Eye will know that sending Evil Eye cards from deck to graveyard is pretty good. All right, so we're going to send, I believe that is the new card out of Photon Hypernova that allows itself to be summoned, and we're going to send an Evil Eye of Gorgonio and an Evil Eye of Selene from deck to hand. Pretty pivotal card for the strategy. Roger having to read every one of these cards. Evil Eye is a very interesting deck. It got support in Infinity Chasers and then has proceeded to get pretty significant levels of support, especially this new card out of Photon Hypernova. I mean, it is truly, you know, a card of all time. There we can see banishing the Evil Eye of Gorgonio, discarding an Evil Eye to search an Evil Eye spell trap or card. I can't remember. But we can grab the Evil Eye Pareidolia, which is, I mean, again, when you read these Evil Eye cards, you have to imagine this deck. It reads like a tier 1 deck. It's crazy. Like, Pareidolia, when activated, can add an Evil Eye monster. It also has a kind of Lyrilisk Recital Starling effect, where you can make your opponent take battle damage, and if it's destroyed, it floats. But one of the issues Dino might have is that Rikka Sheet taking control of his normal summon might be a pretty significant interruption. A lot of the Evil Eye cards require you to control an Evil Eye. But depending on what's left in his hand, might still be okay here. Right? Active, you know, adding Serziel, the poster child normal summon of the deck. Roger, 2 face down spell and traps. So one thing Roger has to keep in mind in this matchup is it is very unlikely that Dino will even need to commit more than 1 monster. So that card, Rikka Sheet, is most effective probably right now, instead meaning an infinite impermanence on the Serziel. I hesitate to agree with this because we have the Familiar in the graveyard, although obviously Serziel's effect is quite significant. You know, rereading Rikka Konkon, making sure that this is going to work out the way he likes. Now, of course, if Dino commits a second monster to the field, that Rikka Sheet is probably the end of the turn. Does he Pot of Prosperity in his hand? No, we're just going to battle phase. Going to have Serziel attack into Mudan. Roger thinking, do I want to let this resolve? I mean, I guess it's now or never for the Rikka Sheet. There it is. Attribute the Sun Avalon. No, thinking about it. Right, we are activating another new card out of Photon Hypernova. It looks very similar to one of the other cards, Medusa, so I'm going to have to look up its name, but I do recall that it has a quick effect to summon itself from the graveyard if you control an Evil Eye monster. That is Basil Trees. So Basil Trees to the field. Main phase 2, activating that Pot of Prosperity. I was correct, that was a Pot of Prosperity, so whatever Dino is looking for here, it is probably something to interact with Roger on his next turn. We know Roger has Cactus Bouncer in hand. One other interesting thing about Basil Trees is it has a quick effect to link summon. So when Dino gets back that Surzeal in the end phase, he will have the material to make something like a Gorgon, which is a quick effect to negate if equipped with Evil Eye of Selene. Yeah, Evil Eye, a deck that I actually personally quite like. Like a lot of deck building archetypes, it didn't necessarily hit the ground running. It arguably lacked like the ceiling required for a deck to be tiered. But I've always thought the cards were phenomenal. They have, you know, a spell and trap negate counter trap. They have like a double compulsory evacuation device. They have a lot of interesting battle phase related effects that allow them to turn their monsters into sort of like Ally of Justice Catasta. Kind of one of the poster children of an archetype with fantastic monster and spell trap support, but not quite enough swarming or board presence to necessarily power through. And then we see Dino activating Called by the Grave, getting rid of Rikka Petal so it doesn't come back during the end phase, equipping Basil Triss with Evil Eye of Selene, setting one and passing. So the other effect of Basil Triss is that you can also use Evil Eye equip spells. So that means something like a Zerziel could come out here once we get the Surzeal back. However, the effect is only live if it's equipped. Passing back to Roger. Now we know without that Rikka Petal, Roger's hand has a Cactus Bouncer. Not a ton going on in terms of follow-up, but we do have the Rikka Concon, which is certainly a strong follow-up. Being able to set something like a Rikka Glamour, tribute one of Dino's monsters. Roger reading Basil Triss again. So the two cards, yeah, I believe two cards out of Photon Hypernova were Basil Triss and Unleashed, and they do form the backbone of an incredibly powerful combo. Notably because Basil Triss is a monster you can send off of Evil Eye Unleashed, effectively adding as an extender. And here we are going to use Surzeal, using its effect to destroy a card here. Okay. Roger sets the card up for Concon, but has lost his Mudan. Now we are using Rikka Glamour. Going to tribute the Surzeal. Does tribute as cost. So no chance to respond here from Dino. There we go, we lose the Selene. Then we activate Evil Eye Unleashed. Not Unleashed. Retribution? God, it's been a while since I've read all these cards. You have to keep up with me, people. Doing my best. Currently on my own, I'm Ellie, bringing you the WCQ. I will be joined by Joe McDonald in short time, once he is available. Yes, that is Evil Eye Retribution, so negating the spell trap effect. And then we normal summon the Cactus Bouncer and say, okay, I'm happy enough with a simplified game state. Deciding just to attack, set one card and pass. So we do not know what that card is. That is the card that Roger drew for turn. I'm going to guess it's Infinite Impermanence based on what he has shown us so far, but there's also a chance it could be a second copy of Rikka Sheet. Activating the, well, Monster Reborn of the archetype, Evil Eye Awakening. Also can summon from the deck if you control an Evil Eye equip. And then Surzeal will add Unleashed, and then we just get to do this again. This card is just incredible for the deck. Yeah, an add off of Surzeal that just gets you everything you like. the relevant thing here is that pretty much all of the Evil Eye equipped spells have a graveyard effect. Gorgonio, as we saw earlier, has the effect to banish itself and then discard an Evil Eye spell trap to search for any Evil Eye spell trap. And then Selene has the effect, I believe, to banish and equip from grave, add itself, set itself. So there we go, sending Basiltris and Gorgonio to add Gorgonio, banishing the Gorgonio, pitching the Gorgonio, or a Selene, in fact. Adding, it's like a second copy of Pareidolia. I mean, you can just do this every turn. This deck is quite formidable. I know I mistook Serziel for a Sky Striker monster initially, but this deck is not entirely unlike that, in which you basically can do the linear resource combo every turn. And while you're doing it, you can pop cards with Serziel, you can pop cards with Zerziel, and gain advantage that way. Yep, activating a second Pareidolia here. Adding Medusa? Medusa is a card that allows you to interact with the graveyard. Going to use the effect of Selene. Basiltris. Summon itself. And then link all three off. In the chat, what the hell is this Dino? This is Dino. I actually know Dino is a fan of this deck and was really excited about the new support, so I am not entirely surprised to see him playing it. Your archetype gets a Foolish Burial and Foolish Burial Goods as cost. I think it's probably worth at least having a look at it. And you get the advantage that Roger here has to read pretty much every card you summon, because not many people have had much experience playing against Evil Eye. So Zerziel, while it's equipped with Evil Eye of Selene, allows you to destroy a monster once a turn. Sorry, one card. Slightly better. Guess it wouldn't make sense if it was just Zerziel, but a Link 3. I'm going to banish, reset, take some damage. It's like one of the sub-themes of Evil Eye is that all the cards sort of deal you damage when you activate their effects. Not the best thing for going to time. Wow, we have equipped this with Selene and 2 Selenes and a Gorgonio. So this Zerziel is hella stacked up. All right. Dealing with the Cactus Bouncer. That'll do it. All right, and it looks like Roger has conceded, so that means Dino is up 1 game, going second against Rikka and Avalon, a pretty competent combo deck. So definitely where Dino wants to be, playing a slightly more control-oriented deck. Although opening Ash Blossom and Ghost Ogre, pretty fantastic. Why is Troy Reeves on Roger's field? No comment. I actually played against Troy Reeves at the Yu-Gi-Oh! Open, and he was on Rikka and Avalon, so that's probably why someone's commentating that. So going into game 2, I assume Roger... I assume Roger has something to deal with a highly spell and trap oriented deck like Dino's. Certainly something like a Cosmic Cyclone or evenly matched for going second. Going first might have to adjust his game plan, because one of the things that Rikka and Avalon really likes to do is interrupt heavy monster-based combo decks with their field spell and, you know, Rikka's Sheet to take control of a monster. But a large portion of Dino's deck is just spells and traps. Cards that require you to control an Evil Eye, but not necessarily ones that require you to control a lot of Evil Eye. And Surgical Pass is generally what the deck tries to do. Roger, if allowed to, might want to prioritize something like a Bengalancer, so that when Dino commits his normal summon, there's a decent chance that he's able to just kind of put a stop to the turn right there. If Dino hasn't opened like the Monster Reborn or an additional extender. The one thing Dino's going to have to keep in mind in this matchup is that it's pretty important to win the second game, because going into game 3, if not a lot of time is left, a large number of his cards do burn him for, 500 damage here and there. Could be problematic, so not out of the woodworks yet, although winning game 1, huge advantage here. Probably see Roger side out of the Cactus Bouncer strategy as well. So we saw there, it wasn't the most effective against Dino's deck. All right, both duelists presenting a hand and going into game 2. Looks like an Ash Blossom again from Dino. Will Roger open Unexpected Die for the second game in a row? Probably the strongest open the deck has. Ooh, not quite as good. Using Sunvine Sowing here, because he does not control a Sun Avalon, has to summon the Seed. And this card is, I believe, a once per turn effect. I could be mistaken. A lot of the Sun Avalon cards are strangely not once per turn. Once per turn. So that means that even though Roger has gotten access to the Seed without using his normal summon, you will not be able to make the tree and get a second sowing to extend. So we'll probably have to commit something here. Or we could see a Rikka Princess hit the field. Last turn, Roger's sowing was hit with an Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, and it seemed to be fine for him. But instead, going for the Rikka Concon here. I assume will be followed up by a normal summon of something like a Rikka Petal. No, setting 2 and... Ooh. Not what you want to see. 0 Rikka monsters in the opener. No access. Just 3 spells and traps in a dream here. Rikka Concon is not capable... Oh, and there's an evenly matched from Dino. Calling cross out Desig. There's no way. There's no way Roger has evenly matched in his deck. He does for going first. There's no way. Hey, you gotta respect it. I mean, why have Solemn Judgment? That just loses to the second evenly matched. You might as well just put in cross out Designator and deal with it right then and there. Very, very interesting play from Roger. Means that Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring was probably not doing a lot of work for Dino anyway, but that is an astonishing resource play by Roger. 2 remaining spells and traps. Are they going to be enough to defeat a 5-card hand from Dino? All right, we're activating Evil Eye Re-Emergence. This card allows you to summon tokens. I believe 2 if you control Evil Eye of Selene. Equipping the token with Evil Eye of Gorgonio. Followed up by normal summon, Ash Blossom, and Joyous Spring. Sometimes it's combo. Roger thinking about his decisions here. So you can make Gorgon here. That's why Dino is normal summoning the Ash Blossom. It only requires you to use an Evil Eye monster for its material. Do we have Rikka Sheet here? We do. Take control of the... Nope, take control of the token. tributing the Ash Blossom. Or in fact, we are not. Roger looking at his extra deck. I'm assuming this means he went to his turn and attacked into the Nibiru? Not the Nibiru, the Evil Eye token. Yeah, using the rare battle phase effect of the Sun Avalon monsters. If you take any form of damage, you can gain that back and then summon Sunvine monster from your extra deck, gain that many life points, and then using Sunvine Healer to gain an extra 300. This would theoretically allow Roger to go into something like an Aromaseraphie Jasmine, but doesn't seem like he has a lot left. Without a Rikka monster in rotation, pretty hard for that Rikka Concon to get any kind of value. We do have the Sylvan link to. Could Hail Mary that card and just try to summon some monsters from deck. Looks like that's what we're going for. It allows you to declare a number between 1 and 3, excavate that many cards, and then I believe summon any plants revealed. No plant, no plant. Ouch. Nothing. That hurts. All right, Roger still with no Rikkas on field. Cannot use that effect of Rikka Concon and passes Dino's turn. Draws. Switching the token to attack mode. Clearing the token. Does Dino have another evenly matched? No, just wanted the Gorgonio in graveyard so he could pitch Evil Eye of Selene, search for Pareidolia, and here we go. Oh, actually, he might be searching for something else. No, there's the Pareidolia. Hitting him with Droll and Lockbird. So Roger, even going first, has cards like Droll and Lockbird, has cards like evenly matched as a target for Crossout Designator. Certainly came prepared. I guess perhaps the Droll is a one of to beat something like, you know, beat it with Crossout Designator. Worked out pretty well for him there, got to say. One of the things Evil Eye does like to do is add cards from deck to hand. All right, now we're going to Infinite Impermanence on Serziel. Neither player with much gas here. The Serziel on field contests the Sylvan, so once again, Dino has kind of ended up in a situation like the first game where we've entered a bit of a simplified game state. All right. There we see the old familiar of the Evil Eye. People play alongside the Basil Trees now. So it allows you to send an Evil Eye spell trap from deck to grave. Yep. This is Basilius, of course, not Basil Trees. Going from those, might see the first summon of one of the Evil Eye Link monsters, and there it is, a beautiful Starlight Rare Gorgon. Empress of the Evil Eye. This is primarily the boss monster. Zerziel, also a powerful card. This card is a monster negate if it is equipped. So I presume we will now go to, yep, banishing the Unleashed from grave to re-equip Evil Eye of Selene. And from this point, Dino's pretty much where he wants to be. He's got the equip. He's got the Gorgon. Pretty hard to interact with that Gorgon now. Something else as well. Thinking about a card in his hand. Nope, just going to battle phase. We're attacking into the Sylvan Link there. Gonna use the Sunvine Sowing. Allows Roger to protect it from battle for just this turn, but he's working on a prayer right now. No cards in hand. Even if he draws something like a Rikka, Dino is quite in command of the resource game here. Although Dino's largest problem is if Roger is able to draw into a Rikka monster, that pretty much puts him right back into the driver's seat of the game. Something like Rikka Konkon. He's trying to draw one right now. What did he draw? Has to be a Rikka monster. Passes the turn. Was not what he was looking for there. Right, passing back to Dino Sposovsky. Summoning Zerziel from the deck. Of course, this card, if you control Selene, allows you to summon a monster from the deck instead of the hand or graveyard. Zerziel getting another search for Unleashed, and this is looking like possibly the end of the game here. Does Roger have something to stop this onslaught of advantage? Takes 500. Activating Evil Eye, Unleashed. Sending the Gorgonio and the Basil Trees, adding an equip spell from deck to hand. I can't imagine at this point that one spell and trap card from Roger Yan is going to be enough. Dino taking full momentum of the game. Right, going into Zerziel. Probably wants to deal with that Rikka Konkon before giving Roger a chance to even draw into a Rikka monster here. Okay, equipping it with Selene and Gorgonio, giving it a slew of protection. Can't be targeted, can't be destroyed. Allows Dino to destroy a card once per turn, and is a formidable high attack point monster. So using the effect of Zerziel here, we're going to destroy the Sylvan. Taking damage. Putting himself ever closer, you know, Roger's secret win condition could be holding on to some burn there in the back row. Dino here explaining that Zerziel also gets 2 attacks because it was made with a monster with 2600 or more of attack, and there it is! Attacks for game! And was double Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit as well. There's the Rikka Princess off the top. 1 turn too late, and a Nibiru. Alright, well there you go. Round 1 goes to Dino on Evil Eye. 2-0 versus Rikka San Avalon. Not what you want to see if you're Roger. Showed up with a pretty competitive deck, and first round was against a deck you likely haven't read a lot of the cards of before. Dino looking pretty happy about that. It's always fun to take one of your favorite decks to an event and just play it. Mostly for fun. I say for fun, but Dino always plays to win. He's a pretty competent duelist, most would say. Roger Yan also a pretty good duelist. We saw there, he knew exactly what he needed to draw. Unfortunately, did not draw a single Rikka monster that game until just too late. So I believe we will be getting player interviews between each round. Be nice to have someone to talk to. I'm very lonely. Probably just two players having a chat about what inevitably was quite a fun game. And certainly what people have come to expect from something like a Dice Jar Regional. Certainly showing off some decks that aren't necessarily what you would consider to be tier 1, YCS winning threats. Rikka and Avalon has been represented, I think, at a few YCS events, but Evil Eye, I mean, even after the new support, has had almost no representation, which I, again, find quite unusual because the new card is just so good. But yeah, congratulations to Dino for that round 1 win. Both players looking pretty jovial. It's nice to see, at a Yu-Gi-Oh event, two players just kind of smiling and having a good time. Yeah, good spirit signing the match slip. So yes, that concludes round 1 of the Dice Jar Games WCQ regional event. Hosted again by Greg. Thank you for having me, Greg. It's already been a joy. And I can't wait to bring on Joe McDonald soon as well.